5 green flags that he's a real provider and not just rich. In the next 9 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how to spot every single one of them. This is the dating strategy for women who are done being played with and having their time wasted. I used to think the end goal was to find a rich man. I spent years in elevated rooms, at the right events, in the right cities, convinced that if I could just get next to the right rich man, everything else would fall into place. That thinking almost cost me everything, because here's the part that nobody in this space is actually teaching you. A billionaire who is not allocating resources to you is not a provider. That man is a liability. And the reason most women don't catch this, the reason I didn't catch this, is because we were taught to screen for the wrong thing. Wealth tells you what he has. It tells you nothing about what he's willing to direct towards you. That single distinction is the difference between a woman who is genuinely provided for and a woman who is simply adjacent to a man with money. The enemy isn't bad men, it's bad information. I know a woman personally who married a 10-figure man. That's billionaire. She was on a spending restriction within 2 months of their marriage, and everything she missed, I'm going to show you in this video. You're going to get 5 green flags that show you exactly what a provider looks like before that first date, before he spends $1, and before a single word comes out of his mouth. Plus, lucky you, 1 question straight from the Smart Dating Book of Questions that'll tell you more about what kind of man you're sitting across from than 6 months of dating ever could. So stay with me. A man worth 100 or 200 million who is not spending on you is not a provider. He is a rich stranger, and a rich stranger's bank account has nothing to do with your quality of life. What you're actually looking for is a generous man, not necessarily a rich one. Generous at every income looks the same. Selfish at every income looks the same. So we have to start screening for generosity, not net worth. And if you're wondering how I know, it's because I spent years marketing to the 1%. Fund managers, art collectors, men who move through this world as if logistics don't apply to them, because they mostly don't. And 3 years ago, I moved to the French Riviera. I have watched how they choose, what they signal, and what they reveal before they ever make their intentions explicit to the woman they're seeing. What I'm about to show you, I didn't learn from a book. So subscribe and save this video now. You will want to come back to it. I have watched a man worth 9, 10 figures withhold in ways that would embarrass a man making $60,000 a year. And I have watched that same man provide at a consistency that would put the most wealthy men to shame. Why? Because generosity is not a tax bracket. It is a temperament. Write that down. All right, let's get into these green flags. Number 5, he anticipates, okay? He's not gonna wait to be asked. This is the most important tell, and a lot of you miss it. And you can see it before the first date, okay? A provider is gonna observe. He's gonna act on what he notices before you ever could name it. If something in your profile, if you're dating online, mentions you like sushi, he shows up and he says, I found a spot I think you love. Are you free on Thursday? He does not say, well, what are you into? And wait for you to plan your own date. No, a provider doesn't do that. Green flag number 4, he's going to handle logistics. He handles safety, unprompted. A real provider will send you a car. He'll send the address in advance and say, I'll have someone pick you up. Don't worry about it. I'm going to have someone pick you up. You don't have to ask what time, where you're going, or what to wear. And if you do, that's not a provider. Green flag number 3, his spending prioritizes your comfort and security, not his image, not his social life, your comfort. A man who will spend $2,000 at a table and cannot find a reason to send you a car has told you exactly where you rank in his hierarchy. The same man making $60,000 a year who consistently spends to make sure you're comfortable and taken care of, that's the provider. The number in his account does not make him generous. His habits do. Before green flag number 2, a quick pause. Knowing what a man's habits are telling you before you're emotionally invested is a skill. Skills require tools. If you want to learn how to vet a man before you get attached to him, join my Smart Dating Workshop. Bring your questions. I will answer them live. You'll also walk away with a Smart Dating Book of Questions, including the one I'm giving you at the end of this video. Your mind is going to be blown with this question. Wasting time on the wrong man isn't an option anymore. The link is in the description. Now, on to the woman who married the billionaire. This is where everything I just said stops being theory. She was in her 40s and tired of hustling. She was doing everything right professionally. But she needed someone to take the pressure off. And she found him, a billionaire. He love bombed her, swept her right off her feet. She moved in fast, they got engaged fast, and got married fast. 8 months from start to finish. Here's what she didn't check for: resource allocation. He'd never been in the habit of providing for her. No allowance to prove a provider mindset, no savings padding, no financial agreement. She moved in for nothing. And the minute they got married, he flipped the script so hard, he didn't have to pursue her anymore. She was already there. She was in and out of that marriage in under a year with a billionaire. And she left no better off than when she came in. Why? Because she vetted for net worth. She never vetted for resource allocation. Green flag number 2. He is transparent about his intentions. He's not going to hide the ball. A man who sees your value is not going to be vague. Why? He's going to make it clear because he knows he's in competition with other men, and he's not willing to lose you to his own silence. Vague men are not confused. They are strategic. And finally, green flag number 1. He's consistent in seeking you out without prompting. High-earning men are occupied. That's exactly why they're high caliber. But there's a difference between a busy man who makes it unmistakable you're on his mind and a disappearing man who only surfaces when the friction of his absence gets high enough. If you're wondering where he went, that already told you everything. Providers don't manufacture mystery. They manufacture momentum. You're not looking for a rich man. You're looking for a generous man, placed in your path at the moment when his resources can actually move your life forward. And you don't find him by hoping he shows up. You find him by knowing what to look for before you're emotionally attached and before you've taken yourself off the market. That's the most important part. Before you've started planning a future he hasn't paid into. These 5 green flags are behavioral. They show up in the first few weeks, sometimes before dessert. You just have to know what you're looking at. Now you have the framework, but here's what I watch women do immediately after they learn things like this. And it costs them everything. They go to the next date without the right questions. They have the map, but they don't have the language. Knowing what to look for without knowing what to ask is the difference between reading a room and walking into a wall. The question I'm about to give you closes that gap. Are you ready? Straight from the pages of the Smart Dating Book of Questions, ask this man this, then say nothing. How does it make you feel when the woman you're dating fully embraces her femininity? Write that down. What he says next will tell you more about what kind of man you're sitting across from than anything else. But some rich men never do a single one of these 5 things, and it's because they're screening you for something completely different. If you want to know what that is, it's in this video.